So here's the first big update on the 29-gallon tank. I was debating should I do this video now or tomorrow because I'm actually getting a ton of new stuff tomorrow. Basically all the new wave pumps, controllers for the lights, controller for the wave pumps. Basically I'm going to be moving my Apex head unit from the cichlid tank, which is over here, and moving that over here. And then the way I'm doing that, it's a little ghetto, is there's a cable that runs all the way across the room. I cut it under the carpet, under this door, and just comes out over here. So here it is. And that's going to be the Apex cable. So basically everything is kind of hectic until it's all done. But what eventually is going to look like is, this is a Jabao PP4 wave pump. I just ordered 2 of the new SW4s, which have a 0 to 10 volt port, so you can integrate it with Apex and all that. So this pump was originally on my mixing bucket, and that's where it's going to go again once this is, once the new ones are here. And so the new one should be matching rather than having a mismatched one. I don't know if I can even, I don't know, these new ones are supposed to have Apex built into the controller, but I've gotten mixed signals as to whether that works right. And then I also heard that the SW2, which is the smaller one, doesn't work right with Apex. I don't know how true that is, but ultimately I decided just to be safe, go with the one that I know works. And there's a video of someone doing it on YouTube, so I'm pretty sure it'll work. So meanwhile, there's a few fish in here. 3 Springereye damsels, a yellow watchman goby, which was the one from the tank downstairs. He was in the overflow. I thought he was dead. You could see him. He's really funny. He's still skittish as ever, but he comes out now. He'll jump around from rock to rock and kind of just see. Now he's back in there. But he'll probably come out there. Yeah, like there he is. Isn't he funny? And there's also a pearly jawfish in here. I hope that wasn't stupid putting a pearly jawfish with this goby, but I haven't even seen him. But what I have seen, and I think this is his doing, it's hard to even see it on the video, but if what you can see is there's like a little crater almost, there's like a circular crater under there. I'm almost positive the jawfish did that. I don't think it was the goby. He doesn't usually hang over there, and that's where I saw the jawfish this morning, was over underneath this, basically under there. So I'm going to keep an eye out. I have a feeling he's doing that, but you never know. I also have 4 hermit crabs in here. This tank basically, damsels are fighting. Guess that's no surprise, huh? Damsels will be damsels. These are Springereyes, which are supposed to be a little nicer, but I'm planning to mostly have more aggressive fish in here. The damsels don't seem to bother the goby or anything. I did see one pick on the jawfish this morning, but I think it was more just because it wasn't really moving much, and it's still getting acclimated, so I think once he's a little more established, he'll probably be fine. They mostly seem to fight with each other. What else? I'm planning on moving the 2 Da Vinci clowns from the other tank downstairs up here. I was debating doing it tonight, but I haven't tested my water. I figure I'll test my water today. I'll probably go to the fish store tomorrow, have them test my water. If it's still good then I think I'll move them. But it was cycling. I used Fritzzyme 9, and about a week. That's all it took with the Zyme. That stuff really does work, although don't expect miracles. It does work in about a week. It will still rise in nitrate. It seems like what it really does is it helps the ammonia stay low, and it gets the nitrates up, and it gets that nitrite making bacteria really quickly established, which normally that's the one that takes a while. And I think, it still took about a week. So I don't think you should be putting some prized expensive fish in here when you add your zyme. But I do think you can add hardier fish while you add the zyme. And in this case, look at Mr. Goby go. He's doing the Watchman thing where they just sort of like creep up the glass. I love when they do that. See, he never did this in the 60 cube. He was always just skittish and scared in there. And he still is in here, but I feel like he's almost more his own size in this tank. The tank he was in the fish store was probably only like a 10 gallon. And, he had more of it to himself, I think. I feel like he has more of that. But anyway, yeah, this it's all coming out good. The tank is pretty much cycled. Like I said, the zyme, don't expect miracles, but it does work in about a week usually. I actually cycled the frog tank. That tank actually did cycle harder than I thought. My nitrates got pretty high. I added the zyme and the cycle finished almost immediately, which was crazy. I regret that I didn't buy that sooner. I actually should have and forgot. I had an opportunity to and forgot. But that goby, still see him over there. I just wish the jawfish would come out more. I didn't have good luck with my last one. Then again, I thought this goby was dead, so you never know with these things. But I'm hoping this jawfish lasts a little longer than my last one. He, is really pretty fish. It just seems like they have a tendency to jump or get lost or whatever. Lost in the rocks. But we'll see. So yeah, tomorrow I actually have a few Apex modules coming. What I'm basically doing is I'm moving the head unit from the cichlid tank to this tank. And then I will add 2 PM1 modules back to the cichlid tank. So that'll add back pH and ORP, as well as the connector for a breakout box. So I'll actually have 2 of those now, not that I need 2, but I'll have 2. But that'll basically take care of what the cichlid tank needs, and then I'll be able to use the same Apex system to drive this tank as well. And there's really no reason why you can't do this. Just sharing an Apex, it just has to be close enough, which apparently close enough is something like 200, 300 feet, which is ridiculous. So, as long as you're not expecting miracles in terms of power, I'm putting another energy bar over here, so all that cable should really have to transmit is just the data, and so I don't think it should be any problem whatsoever, given that I'm only doing about 50 feet, and I've read you can easily do 200 plus, which is crazy. So why buy a second Apex? I wish I'd known that. I would have ran one downstairs, right? Although that's actually been one of my struggles, is getting a cable up and downstairs. So once I figure that out, maybe what I'll do is I'll run redundant head units. Have like a failover and have it all one big system. Be kind of cool. I don't know. We'll see. But that Watchman, man, it's crazy to see him so out and about, because he just never did that in the 60 cube. He literally was scared shitless in a rock all day. Probably because of that coral beauty. You can see these damsels don't even care about him. It's weird, because I did see one of the damsels kind of pick at the jawfish, but he wasn't like attacking him aggressively. He just was more like, get out of my way. But I don't know. They don't give a crap about that goby. That goby's too funny. Look at him. It's gonna be fun to get those clowns in here. I'm debating, should I put the Da Vinci's or should I put the snowflakes? The Da Vinci's are actually bigger, so I don't know. I might do the Da Vinci's just because I want to put more aggressive fish in here, so it'd make more sense to put the bigger ones. But I guess it doesn't really matter. I could always switch it later if I didn't like the ones I switched, The snowflakes are definitely my favorites, but they are smaller compared to the Da Vinci's right now. It's just because I've had them longer. They're a little bit older. Same fish though, just different pattern, but same fish. They're all Ocellaris or whatever. That goby is so funny. Look at him now, he's just here. He's watching. He's a watchman. Mr. Watchman. Huh. Wow. I thought it was the jawfish who was making that crater. But you know what I just saw? I just saw that damselfish pick up rocks and spit them out with his mouth. Kind of like a cichlid would do. Whoa. Do you see that? Okay, interesting. I thought the jawfish was doing that crater. Nope. Okay then. Apparently, damsels dig caves in the sand? Who knew? I'm wondering if it's some kind of mating behavior even. That could be interesting. Weird. I'll have to look that up. Who knew that I'd catch something unexpected on the video? I could have sworn that was... I even said earlier, I thought, oh, the jawfish must be doing that. Did not expect that there was a damsel digging in the sand. Huh. Go figure. Just making me wonder, is the jawfish digging somewhere too? Kinda would hope he is, because that's what he's supposed to be doing. I wasn't expecting this guy to be doing that. Huh. Meanwhile, the watchman is just hanging out, doing what he wants. You can see I've got the wave maker doing like a wave thing here, but it's only a single wave maker, and I put it on the side opposite here, thinking like, you know, this is where the hang-on back is, so there's water coming down here, you know, and I wanted this to be creating waves over here, but I don't know. I really need two wave pumps to get the effect I want, where the surface is just, you know, back and forth. Because you do see the waves. Water is getting a little low, in fact. Might be time to top it off soon. Well, there's that watchman still. He's cool. You know, it's funny. It's like I'm enjoying a fish I never got to enjoy, because he literally was in an overflow for like 2 months. And before that, he was hiding in the rocks. And I thought he was dead. I didn't even realize he was still alive. So, and then when he was in the overflow, I thought he was dead. So, this fish is, it's funny just, you know, now just finally getting to sort of see him act like how I thought he would act. I mean, that's how he was like in the fish store, you know, acting like a watchman, kind of coming out and swimming up the side. I feel like my pink spot doesn't do that so much, again, because that tank has that coral beauty, and it's just so mean. It keeps all the fish kind of to the rocks or to the bottom or to the sides, you know. Nothing can just be out in the open except for the cardinals and the clowns. For some reason, doesn't care about those, but the wrasse, he hates the wrasse. I don't know why the coral beauty hates the wrasse, but he does. Oh well. This tank will be different. I really want to get a Royal Grama next. I've always wanted one of those, and I've heard they're meaner, so I figure if this is going to be a meaner tank, this will be where it goes. And maybe, who knows what else. I guess it's all open. Open to suggestion. I had a few other ideas. I did want to maybe put an angel at some point, but not a coral beauty. Either a cherub, pygmy cherub, whatever you call them, or Ebly maybe, Ibly, or flame. Kind of almost leaning towards the flame, just because I've always wanted a flame. But the cherub is also a very strong option as well, just because they stay smaller. Although I do worry with these damsels, might almost look too similar to them. We'll see. Just saw that goby a minute ago, just chased off the damsel. It's interesting. You know, I was worried they'd be picking on him, but it looks like he holds his own. I'm a little worried about that jawfish, though, because that jawfish is a little smaller. It's a little on the small, thin side. Man, that is so crazy, that damsel digging that cave. I did not know they did that. Alright, this is dragging out a little long. I guess I'll do one final update here. So this is the Kessels. I'm just putting this box here. You can see this is why that box is there, because I literally was getting eye strain just from looking at the tank because of the reflection, and literally just putting that there cuts out all the reflection that would be coming in my eyes. I can literally stand like right above the tank and I still don't get hit by it. So I don't know what I'll do more permanent. Obviously this is not very attractive. I think I may ditch the glass lid, which will probably solve the problem as well, but I do want to put a lid on it because all these fish jump. The jawfish, I mean, the moment I put them in, I saw them swimming at the top almost trying to jump. Fortunately this tank has a frame. What I notice is even if a fish tries to jump, you know, it'll hit that inner part of the lip and it won't actually get over it. It helps. Any little bit helps, you know. It's not perfect in the back here, especially because I haven't, I haven't cut it out yet for this. So it's pushing it forward and leaving this bigger gap. So eventually I do plan to cut that back. Ooh, that almost works too. Look at that. Lean it towards them. Although I prefer it not to touch it. But the hang on back is still doing good as well. Oh, it's getting some salt creep in there. But I did put a carbon underneath the marine pure blocks. I just lifted out a few of the blocks, enough to shove a bag of carbon in there from I think it was the Fluval C3 or something. This is like some bag I had. I just wanted something in there. I figure it's a new tank and it should get some carbon. And I don't know. Seems like it helped. Because now the tank is pretty much cycled. Last I checked, it was all solid. You know, nitrates as you'd expect. Nitrates were finally no more purple. It was just blue like you'd expect. No ammonia. And you can even see there's no ammonia because I've got one of these. And yeah, no ammonia. But if I run the test, it'll match that. Some people don't like those ammonia alert cards, but I have never had any problems. They always work. The only time they don't work is when they're like a year old, and it says you're supposed to replace them every year. So I'm actually just starting to replace some of the first ones I got last year. But, so yeah, they do eventually wear out, but I don't know. They work. No reason to hate. I think the only reason people get confused is because they might be confusing free and total ammonia. These only show the harmful form. They don't show the non-harmful. So, you know, if you do the other test, you might see the non-harmful, and you might say, oh, well, it's not working, but it is working. It's showing you only the harmful stuff, which is all you really need to care about. But at this point, tank being fully cycled, it would match anyway. It's not going to show either form, which is what you want. 0 of all ammonia, free and total. Alright, well, this has dragged on long enough, so until next time, folks.